Alright. Folks, I have an update in the Ben Burgis saga. Now, again, I said this earlier, but I definitely want this to be part of the segment. We are at the end of Rocky, folks. That's where we're fast approaching. Everything you've seen in the Ben Burgis saga, from its inception until now, I'm gonna be honest, this is Rocky. We're in Rocky right now. And so the big fight has been scheduled, and so I wanted to talk about this. So, I think it was like since May. We've been having this back and forth. Yesterday, I engaged in the back and forth. I engaged in the fourth, I suppose, or the back. I don't know what I did. I engaged in one of the back or the fourth. And that resulted in an unblocking of myself from, the logic mastermind known as Ben Burgis. So for those of you that don't know, let's do a recap. Let's start from the beginning. Now we're at the intro of Rocky 2, but we don't know what happens yet. But just imagine. Okay, so Ben Burgis made a series of really bad takes, in my opinion, on January 6th. So I made a video about it. I mocked him a little bit. I said, I was a little, I'm a goofy person. It happens. Maybe I was over the top. It's possible. I'm open to that possibility. And so Ben Burgis, someone mentioned that I should debate him, and then sent him the video or whatever. And then, so again, I want to be very clear. My original video about Ben Burgis was not meant to be I'm going to challenge you to, that's not, if that were the case, I would have gone about it a different way. It was just a video making fun of someone with a bad take, that's all it really was. But he was not a fan of me. I think the term that I used was, I called him, quote, dumb as a shit fuck, I believe was the exact terminology that he took issue with. And so I thought that was silly. I mean, I figured, my figuring was that Ben Burgis wrote a book on, about canceling comedians, and, I figured that he would understand my comedy styles, but that's fine if he didn't, that's okay. And so basically, we had a series of back and forths on Twitter. He would talk about me on a podcast sometimes, he would mention me, and every time he would even breathe my name in any capacity or say anything remotely about me, of course, I'd have someone like Mila in the chat, rush and give me the link, and of course, I'm gonna make a video about it. So, that's just my style. It's if someone even blinks, or sneezes, and they say, I will make a video about that, because I'm a narcissist, and, but that's not what I'm assuming here, or that's not what I'm here for. But anyway, so yesterday, the saga continued. Ben Burgis went on, the Bread Sheet podcast, by Hoss Bossman, aka Cashew. And so I think I will probably be going on the show at some point. I was invited, but we haven't set up a time yet. So, Bread Sheet, follow them, that kind of stuff. So Hoss Bossman, aka Cashew, asked Ben Burgis, the Logic Mastermind, about me, and so I had to do. It's it's like a calling, it's I start hearing voices in my head. You must do the video, and so I'm doing the video. And while I'm doing the stream yesterday, people at Ben Burgis, that's what happened. So it resulted in this Twitter thread. Now there's a lot more, how Twitter works. People reply to every tweet, and then it creates fucking 79 branches. But this is just the one I'm gonna have on here. So Ben Burgis engaged with some critics, so one of the big things here is that he was very, and we'll discuss this when we have a conversation. Right? This is a happy ending here, but I don't want to rehash it too much. But he was not a fan of my language, and we had a semantic kind of disagreement. I think that if I would have called him a silly person, I postulate that he wouldn't have been nearly as offended. I think it's the idea that I used swearing that made him so offended, and that's fine. If someone swore at me, I maybe would take offense to that, so I understand that. But the main thing here was we had a conversation in DMs when this whole thing started, that he like seemingly forgot. I mean, it's possible, you forget, you're so popular online. I sometimes forget that I talk to certain people at some point, so it's possible. And so where I apologized and we continued to have a conversation. So that's my thing. That's what I was hung up on, is that we did have that conversation. After I apologized, he seemingly accepted my apology. We had a conversation. We were talking about setting it up, and then he ghosted me. And then started doing debates with other people about the same subject, where, and that's to me, that was part of the saga. I thought that was pretty funny. And again, I just think that this whole thing was funny. Like, I'm not going like, whoa, like Ben Burgis canceled. Like, I don't care about that. I just think it's funny, and it has to do with me, and I thought it was funny. But anyway, so basically some folks, there was like a conversation. And so, eventually Ben Burgis unblocked me. He was practicing. Yeah, he did 3 other debates. It was all a warm up, again, like we're doing, this is Rocky here, folks. This is Rocky. I'm Rocky in this because, I'm from New Jersey. I've got Italian DNA. I'm allowed. I can claim the Rocky status. I don't know what Ben Burgis's DNA is, but I would go out on a limb and assume he's not got similar DNA with Apollo Creed, but that's not important because I'm Rocky. And so if I'm Rocky, someone's got to be Apollo Creed. It's not, what I mean? So I don't make the rules. But anyway, so I responded to this threat. Now again, yesterday, I don't remember. I think I was on something yesterday, and don't worry about that. You can, I was on something yesterday. So I got like a flurry of messages. I think it was at the store as well. And I noticed I got a flurry of messages. This is actually, I was at the store, and when I was at the store, I bought this Powerade. So while I'm at the store, and while I'm going through the aisles, I'm looking at my phone, right? And I've got all these messages. And then I buy this Powerade that I'm now drinking on stream while I do this segment. And so, that's like kind of like there's something there, right? That's like, that's like some, I don't know, but there was something. So when I get home, I read all the messages. Mickey would be Mila. Mila's Mickey. Absolutely. No question. Mila, you're Mickey. And if you disagree, I'm sorry. Mila's Mickey. But anyway, and I'm Rocky. So anyway, so I get home and I don't mind, whatever. Like, so I said, I'm always down to amend. I apologize to him the first day he contacted me, so I don't know what else to do. And so he said, he basically said my apology wasn't good enough, which is possible. I mean, it's very possible that my apology was not good enough. I mean, I'm open to that possibility. But he didn't tell me that. Like, so my thing was I apologized and then we had like a relatively in-depth conversation, right? So my thing is like, if my apology wasn't good enough, why would you engage with me in an in-depth conversation and then just ghost me and debate other people? Like, that's my thing. Like, if my apology wasn't good enough, I feel like he should have told me at that time, right? But like, that's, whatever. And so I said, I don't mind apologizing for the apology either. My whole thing was, so let me just read my own tweet. I'm reading my own tweet. This is where we're at right now. So, I figured since you wrote a book about canceling comedians while the world burns, you wouldn't mind my style as much. Plus, never intended my original video to be a challenge. It was just sent to you. I'm down to start over. So I offer an olive branch, a clean start, a reset. Like we're doing a speed run of Mega Man X6 and I fall into the spike pit and die. So you just start over. So that's what we're doing. And then I clarified, I wanted to be, since Ben unblocked me. He unblocked me. So I'm like, I gotta impress him. This is like, I gotta do something here. So, I double down and I say, I also, if we would have a debate, I wouldn't be rude to you. It's not my style. I'm more interested in exploring the concept rather than anything else. Now, again, if you've seen any of my debates, you'll know that I am not that much of, I don't get angry in a debate. I'm usually very chill. My style is I like to let other people get angry at me. I like that. I think, I love being yelled at. Maybe it's because I'm submissive as possible. But anyway, so Ben Burgis, responded with, you know what? Fair enough. Let's start over. DM me and we'll figure out a time +4 and blah, blah, blah. But then we go on. Devin May Cry says, Andrea makes us all mad by being too polite to people in debates. And then I say, lol. I always get shit for it. Then Ben Burgis says that would be something we have in common. So that's when it ends, and then everyone's like, yay. And so we had a DM conversation. Well, we didn't have a conversation yet. I DM'd him, and then he DM'd me at like midnight, and I'm asleep because I'm an old person, so I sleep at like 10. And so I'm asleep, and then I wake up and I respond to what he said. So we're gonna organize this. I don't know when, because Thanksgiving is coming up. And so I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I do. I celebrate Thanksgiving by getting shit-faced the whole day. That's how I celebrate. But I don't. Maybe I mean, given my recent activities, maybe I'll celebrate Thanksgiving by not getting shit-faced. Maybe that'll be its own kind of experience. But anyway, so I don't. But I know he's like an adult with a family or something. I don't know what's going on with Ben Burgis. I guess he's got a family. I don't know. And he has like, I don't know what's going on with him. So he might be celebrating Thanksgiving. But so we're going to try to organize this. And so we're at the end of Rocky, folks. And so this really, what boils down to right now is, are we going to go into Rocky 2? Like, are we going to have this conversation? Is it going to be like, no one knows who won? And then we're going to have a whole new saga? Like, that's what I'm interested in. But right now, I'm Rocky. Mila's Mickey. And I think Ben Burgis is Apollo Creed. I do. Because, at the end of the day, he's the big shot here. I'm just some nobody loser. And so, what are you going to do? But I'm Rocky. And so all I wanted to do, like, the only reason I made this segment is I just wanted to say that I'm Rocky. That's it. That's the moral of the story. But either way, the Ben Burgis saga, we're entering the final arc, folks. I know it's been a while. I know this has been like, watching this play out's been very entertaining for me personally. Like, again, I no hard feelings against Ben Burgis, whatever. I find the whole thing to be very humorous. And so that's kind of what I do. But I don't think anyone in my chat either thinks that Ben Burgis is a horrible person. I think the worst thing that I've read about Ben Burgis from people that watch me is that he's like lost the plot and he's like too focused on like, he's too focused and this is my criticism as well, is that he's too focused on making his past opinion try to remain relevant instead of like reshaping his opinion based on new information. That's been like the real crux of this. But but anyway, we're gonna have this conversation. I think and hopefully everything's good. So be sure to if you did get blocked, let me know and I can request an unblock. But Rocky 2 has the great bass intro song. That's true. I'm excited for Rocky 2, but we got to get Rocky 1 over with first. Apollo Creed was known for screaming, "I'm not a beta male." Nope. You won't see me reacting to that live on stream. But yeah, so that's the Ben Burgis segment, folks.